Hello, everybody, and good Saturday morning to you. My name is Suzette Speaks. I'm a TV host, attorney, and event producer of the Speak Women's Empowerment Conference. We do hope you will join us on Saturday, March 16th at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We're going to have 28 dynamic women speakers, including judges, including coaches like the one sitting next to me, fabulous women in business, doctors, psychologists, health and wellness experts, you name it. We want to help you get to your next level in 2019. So please check out tickets on Eventbrite, the Speak Women's Empowerment Conference. Okay, enough said about our conference. And today on our Facebook Live, we are featuring one of the guest panelists that you will see at Speak. Her name is Terisha Lee. She is a PhD candidate, and she is the founder of Propensities by Terisha Lee. And we're very excited that she's going to be a part of our conference on March 16th. How are you, Terisha?
I'm great.
So happy you're here. I can tell you I've heard her speak many times, and you are in for a treat. Terisha, tell the folks about yourself and a little bit about what you do as a coach.
Sure. Hello. So I am Terisha Lee, founder of Propensities by Terisha Lee. It's a speaking and consulting firm. And what I do is I basically help people create habits, characteristics, and traits that really enhance their everyday living, enhance their faith, their purpose, and ultimate success.
I love it. So she said a mouthful, but I love the fact that you can go to her website. Is Propensities by
TerishaLee.com.
TerishaLee.com, excuse me. And you can check her out. And I love the fact that you call yourself a purpose advocate. I feel like there's so many people walking around not knowing really what their purpose is. So we need more purpose advocates. But what does that mean to you?
What that means is the difference between me and a coach is with an advocate, I am actually on your team. I'm on your side. Not saying coaches aren't. But I am on your side. There's so many people who I talk to who say, I've never had anyone who really root for me, who really was on my team. So I work with you to actually map out the goals so you can identify your purpose as your advocate.
So you basically are on their side in terms of making sure it's not just here, do this. You're rooting, you're cheering them on, you're helping them build the skills that they don't have. So I love that. I'll actually mention, I usually tell you where we are. We're on the campus of Nova Southeastern University. For those who might think our background looks a little familiar, we're sitting not too far from the library, actually, off of University Drive. For those that are not in South Florida, we're in the city of Davie visiting today. But we wanted you to just get a taste of the conference. The conference is going to be from 9 to 5. It's going to be a combination of different panels that are going to focus on the 5 tenets of Speak, which is sisterhood, purpose, authenticity, empowerment, authenticity, and knowledge. And we're also going to have about 8 individual speakers. So throughout the day, we'll go from panel to speaker to individual speaker. So you'll have a taste of a variety of topics that hopefully will give you tools and strategies to really empower you to move forward in whatever your goals are. So Terisha, what we wanted to talk about in addition to the conference was something I think a lot of women struggle with, which is creating and maintaining healthy relationships with other women. I said it. Oh my gosh, I said it. Please drop a comment. We want to give you some tools that you can use and really just some food for thought when it comes to being a healthy sisterly. I'm talking about real sisterly. I'm not talking about, eros, agape, Philadelphus, right? That brotherly love. How do we really develop healthy relationships with other women when we sometimes, especially on an initial first meeting, may not be sure that their personality and our personalities maybe agree, or that we don't find that we kind of click right off the bat? How do we still give that person a chance if we need to at all?
I think just like we want for ourselves, we want grace for ourselves, extend that same grace to our sisters. The first impression, while it is a lasting impression, it shouldn't be your only one.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you're giving yourself and her space and time to grow and to get to know each other. We've all had that one friend we met, and the first time we met them, we thought,
yeah, I've been there. Hello, drop a comment that you're like, wait a minute, I don't know if I like her, or yeah.
And they turned out to be one of our best girlfriends.
Oh my, that has happened to me. Where initially it was like a little bit, we were off. It was maybe I was having a bad day, she was having a bad day, but eventually I was like, this woman is really cool. So first lesson, as a DJ Khaled would say, major key, make sure you don't always give that, snippet of a first impression. Let it not be the only impression that you have of that woman. I also find that in relationships with women, I get a lot of warnings about other women that I don't know or I'm about to meet. How do you feel about that? I feel like if you have a friend and then you know a third party and that friend wants to meet the third party, but you've had maybe a negative experience with that third party, is it up to you to go to that friend and be like, oh, be careful. I've already had this type of bad experience, or not necessarily bad, but just maybe didn't work out the way I wanted it to. What do you feel about this kind of warning process that I see a lot of people take up in their friendships?
So I remember when I moved to a new city. I moved to New York shortly after undergrad, and I was able to meet a beautiful community of other welcoming African Americans there. We were in a small town, and I remember everyone came to me warning me, oh, this one's such and such, this one's that way, this one's that way. And I remember there was this one particular individual who came to me and she said, I'm going to allow you to have your own experiences. And I really appreciated that, and it taught me a lesson that I never forgot. Allow people to have their own experiences.
Absolutely.
Just because I don't drink tea doesn't mean you won't love it.
I love that. That's very good. We might not take tea, but at the same time, it's very kind of sometimes damaging, because that woman can be that person's connector, her blessing, the woman that opens a whole new door and a new avenue for her. So you might not be the person to tell her, or should be the person to tell her, hey, be careful of that person. Maybe you should allow her to have her own unique experience with that new connection. So, okay, we are outside, so there are planes flying ahead. You know it's live. Let that plane go. So I want to ask you about how to make sure you show up for other women. I think sometimes we expect what we don't give in relationships. Sound familiar? I don't know about you. I've done it where I expect a lot from my friendships. But what about you actually being a friend before expecting others to show up for you?
So there actually is this saying I heard from a pastor here in South Florida, and he was explaining how for others, we always want justice, but for ourselves, we want mercy.
Oh boy, you're getting deep here. I don't know if we got the time, but that's very deep.
I thought,
yeah.
Whoa, whoa. Think of the times we've made transgressions, the times we've fallen short in our relationships, and we wanted our friends to understand and extend their grace and their mercy to us. But when it's the other foot,
we don't, we're like, I cut her off. And actually, and don't mean to cut you off, but also in that same vein, actually, when we talk about, friends having maybe erred, maybe, their little idiosyncrasies that everyone has, okay? So I'm not talking about, lie to you or do something really deceitful, bad business practices. I'm not talking about that. But maybe you have a friend that shows, maybe doesn't show up. Maybe you expected her to show up when you needed her and she didn't, or you expected her to, give to your new business, or whatever your situation would be. You had an expectation that she did not meet. How do we get past that? I find that a lot of people, including myself in the past, I've held on to, we're still friends, but I still remember in the back of my head how, I felt hurt. How do we really genuinely let those things go?
I think it takes time. Give yourself time. Don't feel like it's something I have to get over today and never bring up again. It's okay. It's a journey. Forgiveness is certainly a journey.
Absolutely.
But what we also have to do is we have to stop ignoring our friends' weaknesses. Know their strengths and not ignore their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Know that if your girl is the best at cooking and throwing a good party, but never on time, let her do that. Yeah.
Let
her stay there. Don't ask her to take you to the airport and then never speak to her again when you're late.
Okay.
You know that's her area.
I love that, because I'm always big on people knowing others' strengths and challenges and still loving them.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it gets difficult because we want people to be everything in every area when you're not everything in every area. And so we kind of cut people off, and I've done that in my more immature days of, people not meeting this standard or that standard. I find that I can be friends with people even though they're not everything to me. Even though they may have some idiosyncrasies that I'm like, okay, I really don't like that about her, or I don't enjoy that part of her personality, but I enjoy 80% of her personality, so I can still rock with her. How can people allow for these differences and things that may rub you the wrong way occasionally, but still be friends? We do it at work. We do it all kinds of, in professional relationships, but with personal relationships, we find ourselves often, backing away from or just cutting the person off. How can we become more mature in terms of how we deal with people and loving them in spite of?
I think you said it perfectly. We have to allow people to be themselves. We have to embrace who they are and let them be there.
Yeah.
I think we have this new mindset of you're my everything, my ride or die. That's my girl, always there
Nobody's
for
riding
me.
and dying with you, baby. Only.
I'm not dying. I got kids. I can't be doing that. No.
So if you believe that for anyone, except for, in probably your faith, you probably you're gonna be disappointed every time, because no one can be everything to anybody in any relationship. So ladies, we just want to encourage you to try to build real, genuine sisterhood. Be yourself and love the person as they are, and for what they are and what they may or may not have all at the same time. They are not going to necessarily be all that you want them to be, but love them just how they are, and maybe along the journey that they're into the person in becoming the person they want to become. There we go. So I guess it's time to wrap up. You can tell I'm getting tongue-tied, and it's kind of hot out here. So Terisha, let the people know where they can find you, please.
Sure. You can find me at terishalee.com. Also on Facebook, you can find me at Terisha Bennett Lee, or Instagram, Terisha_Lee, and that is TERISHA, last name LEE, Lee.
All right, well, we got a lot of action around us, people riding by. I think it's time to say goodbye, ladies. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you March 16th at the Speak Women's Empowerment Conference. Suzette Speaks, Terisha Lee signing off. We'll see you again next Saturday.